I'm like, kid, leave the damn buttons alone, okay? Don't push your shit.
You know I'm the governor of this bitch.
You said the point you're at to boo. I shouldn't be laughing, but that is hilarious.
That is garbage. So
I'm still laughing about the applesauce. I almost crashed, bro. I'm in traffic. That shit told me.
I told you, I'm funny. I should have my own skit.
But then you reported his ass about. I'm sorry.
The only thing gonna happen when I swing back is y'all gonna get mad and throw me in the coop. Cause I got plenty of jokes. I got plenty of jokes now. It never fails. That's Jean-Pierre.
That ain't Grover. I don't know what they done.
So I think I've said this before. I think this is an instance where Trump usually, I think, has a preternatural way of intuiting the sentiments of his base and really communicating them in ways that they're incredibly responsive to. And this is just an instance where I think it's fascinating to me because I've said this before, but this is like your rabbi just getting up there and saying, well, the Jews were never really slaves in Egypt, or your priest getting up there and say Jesus never really rose from the dead. I mean, this is part of, I mean, the fact that, as you're saying, Gary, if you said he's been convicted of things, right? This is not a conspiracy theory, but the conspiratorial intuitions of what exactly who's connected to this and how high it goes plays into this kind of perception of the base that this is, the powerful elite that are running around and running child molesting pizza shops and all this stuff like Hillary Clinton, and that this is the world they live in, right? And so, and this Epstein sex exploitation is part of that world, and the elites just protect themselves and sort of run all over all of us. And Trump was viewed as somebody who was going to battle against those elites on behalf of his base. He's the true populist. And so for him to suppress things and then say it's a hoax, I mean, not only is it a travesty to the victims, it's like burning your Bible. I mean, this is like saying that the miracle stories, this is the Jeffersonian Bible, man. This is the Bible without the miracle stories and the supernatural. I mean, this is Trump trying to demythologize and sort of stick it to his base. And it's I think kind of insulting to his base, and I don't know why he's playing it. So unless there's something he's really embarrassed about, right? Or unless there's donors or something or somebody or parties that have really strong vested interests in this not being released. Trump's protecting them or doing some kind of quid pro quo. I mean, why do you want to, and why as a party do you want to be viewed as the cover-up party on this issue? I mean, I don't know what the political upside is for the Republicans. I can imagine the upside for Trump might be that there's some embarrassing material. I'm guessing it's not anything criminal, but maybe something just really embarrassing about him in these files. I don't know. But I just think this is a really stupid play politically. And I don't know why Republicans aren't lining up, again, other than Trump's decided it's a bad idea and they just do Trump's bidding. But yeah, I mean, I think this is not the smart political play to go against transparency here.
I was trying to remember, and I looked this up to help refresh my memory, whether the president ever joined in on this course of condemnation of this Epstein pedophilia ring, I guess. If you look back, he never explicitly, in any of his campaigns, never explicitly said anything in condemnation. The closest he came, as best as I can tell, was in 2015 in an address before CPAC. he called Epstein's Island a cesspool. So there was an insinuation there, but there was no condemnation. So this may not be completely out of character. We know that they were best buddies and they had a falling out. And at the end, there was no love between them. And that was over a real estate deal in Palm Beach, where the president outbid Epstein after Epstein called him in for some advice on how to move the swimming pool from one location to the other, and then Trump fell in love with the property that Epstein had fallen in love with, and then, at least according to Epstein, the private citizen Trump screwed him, and Epstein never forgave him for that, and that was the end of all that. Trump's version is a little bit different. He says that Epstein was acting weird at his Mar-a-Lago, and he banned him, and that was the end of the friendship. I don't know. People could decide which one has greater veracity. But he never, as best as I can tell, maybe somebody else has pulled some research that I have been unable to find, he never specifically went after Epstein for the things that he had done, and for which he was convicted. Never. Even though, as you point out, Scott, his base was, has been really full speed ahead on this issue. So I find that kind of interesting. Go ahead, Scott.
It's mysterious. I mean, it's just such bad. Aside from the facts of what is and the morality, it's just terrible politics. But we'll see how it plays out.
Well, I think one of the first rules of politics is don't attack a survivor of sexual abuse. That's not a winning strategy, I don't think. So, aside from the fact that it's the wrong thing to do, if you want to set that aside and not concern yourself over the ethics of it, it's not really the smart thing to do either. So this is the first time I think that we have seen, I mean, this president has had a hold on this Congress. I mean, he stopped legislation when he wasn't even president, because the legislation to tighten up things at the border, which was a bipartisan package, might have made Biden look good. So he decided to pressure Congress to not vote for that legislation in order to keep the flow of immigrants coming in, to let it continue to be a campaign issue. It is true that after he took office, he buttoned down the border. No question about that. But he had that much influence even when he was just a candidate, because they were so fearful to stand up to him because they had the votes for that legislation to pass. And I'm not arguing whether that legislation was good or bad, or the benefits or the failings of that legislation. I'm just pointing out he had such a hold up until now on Congress. This will be a big blow to that if he loses. But I think it'll be a big blow to the victims if he wins. Thanks, Scott. Meryl.
Excuse me. I can barely hear anybody. Can anybody hear me?
You are loud and clear. Real strong.
Okay, good. That's going to be loud and clear. Okay. I want to begin first by asking if the congressman, the gentleman who is running for Congress, if he is here or in the audience under his name or any other name, because if so, I want him to produce a recording he claims where I said that Trump is a pedophile, which I never did.
I do not see it.
Anyways, I had the same reaction you did. I had a very emotional reaction. I saw the interview. And as you recall, I sent that interview to you and someone else, Howard, and said that I did not know if I should post it, because I also did not want to be accused of Trump derangement syndrome. I also had experienced in the past said, if you say something about Epstein regarding Trump, that it is, like Trump's got better things to do. And why do you think, he's handling so much more. Do you think this is so important? And I didn't want to get into that kind of argument also, because this is a president who, all presidents should be able to handle everything that comes their way. Anyways, if you take notice, a bit of history is starting to repeat itself. With regard to Epstein, he was previously charged with, I forget how many, it's more than 36. I mean, it's a lot of charges of having sex with minors, a number of different things. And he cut, while people will say this is how the judicial system works, it's okay, he did it legally. He cut himself the most sweetheart deal anybody could ever imagine. He wound up, and I thank Alan Dershowitz and some other attorneys, a deal that is just so incredible. And
Oops, your audio just really degraded. All of a sudden there was like a click and we could hardly.
I'm sorry. Am I still there?
Now you suddenly pop back in.
Okay, no, somebody was calling. Okay, he got this deal and no victims were notified. And the deal was that he would not have to stay in prison. He would get 12 hours, 7 days a week to go to his office, quote, home, anywhere he wanted. But he had to come and spend night times there. He would have had years, possibly a lifetime of time in prison, had they not pled him down to something that I think it was only going to be 13 months. And he didn't even serve 13 months. So he was going to wherever it was, he was going all day long and just spending the evenings there. That's incredible. That is incredible for a pedophile. Then no accountability. And now he gets busted again. And there will be no accountability for him because he committed suicide. Because he knew he was never going to get a deal like he had before. And I'm not going to get involved in the conspiracy theories of whether it was murder or suicide. I will accept that it was suicide. What I really am upset about is the only other person who could be held accountable and that was Maxwell. And she was a partner in every way. She procured the girls for him. She had sex with the victims, minors, with him and alone. And several victims testified at her trial. And she was found guilty by a jury and sentenced to 20 years. And that was not going to be at a cupcake prison. That wasn't going to be the kind of prison where Epstein, what he was going to be doing. She wasn't going to get that kind of a deal until Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, when she was convicted, by the way, he claimed not to know she was convicted, but he wished her luck.
We know how to hear.
Pardon?
I'm just letting you know.
I'm sorry, what?
Honey. We know the history.
Let's not interrupt, please. That's not how we roll here. Go ahead, Meryl.
Okay, if you don't want the history, Gary, I won't. But if that person does, I don't care. Doesn't want it. He did not want these. He wanted to make sure that she said he had nothing to do with anything. And she did. She met in the most bizarre kind of interview with a friend of his who was an attorney. It never happens. It never, ever happens. And the interview was not conducted. If anybody reads the interview questions, they were not conducted, no follow-up. It was strictly her. Donald Trump was always polite, always a gentleman, and I really like him as our president. He's a wonderful president. And 2 days or 3 days later, she got Camp Cupcake. She was moved to a prison that does not take pedophiles, does not take convicted people convicted of sex crimes, and she not only was moved there, we, the taxpayers, pay for security for her because it was not a prison that is supposed to. And the next step would be for her in a prison like that is work release or out. And I would predict that she will never serve even a portion, even 1/4 of her sentence. And I'm sorry if somebody objects to my having given the history. Thank you.
I think it was rude for you to be interrupted, and I think it was rude for that guy to call you honey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wonder if there's somebody I know.
Well, must be if he called you honey. So, you referred to the first trial down in Florida where he, was given his walking papers and not incarcerated, and how ultimately somebody appealed. I don't know who did. I don't know how. The history of this. So I won't bore the person who doesn't want to hear the history of this. But somewhere along the line, the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York City, in the Eastern District, went and prosecuted him successfully. And I don't know whether there's a cause and effect here. I have no way of knowing. But as we all know, the president fired that assistant U.S. attorney who prosecuted the case successfully against Epstein. So, it just makes you wonder what's going on. And even if it had nothing to do with that, the optics are horrible. So why would you? It would have to be like something really egregious that you could articulate to explain to the public why you are firing her, under kinds of circumstances.
Hey, Gary, I'd like to try to help everyone understand why we're seeing this.
Well, but it's not your place to jump in. You know that. You have to wait your turn, and then you'll be able to help us understand. Come on, you know the room rules. Thank you, Meryl, and we'll now go to Jason.
I think they should release them. To answer the question of the room, it is a bit curious to me that Trump won't release them. I'm glad to see bipartisan support for the release of the files. I think there, Dr. Francine, you have some feedback, but you may want to check your mic. I think, this bipartisan support for that is great. I think it's bringing America together. It may be something that can only be released toward the end of the Trump administration. I do think a point suggested earlier that maybe some donors or some other highly placed persons, they don't want to see these files released. They may have very good reasons for that. I can see how someone in Trump's position it may give him pause. Let me put it that way. There's a lot here clearly that's under the surface. Anyone involved with Epstein, given what Epstein got away with, the amount of pull that guy had, the amount of support or whatever, it's kind of an indicator of how much more power, pull, and support the people who were affiliated with him had. And it may be that these files are not releasable till a lot of people have passed away, as a practical matter. And that's it's a grave disappointment. But it may be how it is.
Well, if it's people who passed away. You're correct. It's a grave disappointment. I know you didn't mean to be punny there. Thank you, Jason. Why did you suggest that they might have cause to withhold the release of the files until near the end of the Trump administration?
Well, Trump has some things he needs to get done. And he needs the support. He needs all the support he can get. And, he's got to pick his battles, right? And that is one reason to delay. I mean, I get a thumbs down from somebody. I mean, what an idiotic response there. It's the time to do this kind of thing is he doesn't need the support anymore, if there's a time.
So you're suggesting then, and correct me if my interpretation is wrong, that the release of the files could contain information that will make it harder for him to proceed with his agenda? At least you're speculating that that's the case?
Well, I think it would make some of his more high-profile supporters unhappy with him if this information were released, yes. They don't want embarrassing information about themselves to be released. And so, now is not the time to do that. I think that, obviously, if the files are released, they will show that virtuous Trump opposed Epstein at every step and was not involved in any way. And, but I don't think it's about self-interest. I think it's about what he needs to do for the country. And is this the primary thing? I think, no, it's not.
Thank you for that, Jason. That's an interesting take. We'll now go to Dr. Francine.
That is a totally fascinating take, Jason. First of all, I'd like to point out the fact that I am a woman. And second, I have been watching women have difficulty getting justice for what is done to them for my whole life. And so today when those women came out on the lawn in front of the Congress, I went out, I turned on the TV and I watched them talking. And it's very interesting the kinds of things they said. First of all, one of them said that she was mute after she got raped by Epstein and that she could never again after that. Another one said that she had been undergoing trauma therapy. It took her years to even get to undergo trauma therapy. And others of them who were more removed from the situation by now said, if you don't want to release a list, we have a list and we will release the list for you because we actually have it. So they ran the gamut from, totally destroyed emotionally by the event to, fuck you and your mother if you're not going to release this list. But so that was one interesting thing. The next interesting thing was that Ro Khanna said that he had the discharge petition, which is what's happening is a very interesting thing, which is a petition to a bipartisan petition to release the Epstein files out of committee and for a vote on the floor had already been scuttled, one, by Mike Johnson sending Congress home early. But now there's no way for him to send it home again. So they have to do something about the fact that it needs a certain number of supporters to get out of the committee. And according to O'Connor this morning, they had, and Howard Massey, who is a Republican, they had at least 3 Republican women survivors. And they were Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace, who was a survivor. And when Don Lemon came over to interview her, she was having a panic attack and couldn't do the interview. But I'm trying to convey the emotional impact for these women of this. And then as a contrast, the White House has been saying, the first thing they said was that it was a hoax. And then the second thing that they said was that it's like a traitorous action against the White House to insist on the release of this discharge petition. And I put the tweet up. This man said, that they put the tweet up on X because it was so shocking that as a president, he would say something like that. But he said it was worse than an act of disloyalty, that it was almost a treasonous act against the White House. And pretty shocking, I would think. Here, let me read it. That's right. Massey said, and Massey is a Republican, I don't know if that's precedented in this country to have a president call legislators to say that they are engaged in a hostile act, particularly when the so-called hostile act is trying to get justice for people who've been victims of sex crimes. So I guess what I'm trying to say to shorten it a little bit is that there's something really rotten in the state of Denmark or in the state of DC, if Trump is feeling that way. And we have really never had somebody in the Oval Office trying to cover up sex crimes, and working so hard to do it. So I don't know, Jason. I guess that would be known as I respectfully disagree with your take.
So, we've been very cautious in this forum, and we will continue to be cautious in this forum.
Not me.
For us, even you, when it comes to we're being very cautious to not accuse any specific individual of any involvement in the pedophilia, other than the 2 individuals who have thus far been convicted. And this is why Meryl was so correct in correcting the record. Because, first of all, I never heard her accuse the president of being a pedophile, nor would I, as your moderator, allow that to be said by anyone on this stage or in the chat without immediate confrontation and correction, because you're slandering in speech and libeling in text when you do so. So I am holding to the fact that there is no even accusation, despite the close relationship the president has had in the past with Jeffrey Epstein, that he participated in any of these pedophilia parties. If that's the case, and let's hold to that based on the facts known, why would the president say that it is an attack on the White House to want to bring
me up,
to
faggot.
light the people involved? What does the White House have to do with it? It's very confusing.
Right, and I feel the same way. I mean, I'm stunned by the vociferousness of Donald Trump's response to something that he called a Democratic hoax just half a day ago.
And again, repeated today after the women appeared before the Capitol. Look, if it's a hoax, if it's a nothing burger, what do you care if the files are released? There's nothing there. So it would support your contention that there's nothing to see here. Let's just move on as a Jedi. You know, it's contradictory. It defies logic. And so it makes one wonder, why is he so adamant that this ought not to be released? I think the several people, including the immediate, previous caller, suggested that there may be certain names on there that the president does, counts on their support one way or the other. Maybe not even politically or governmentally, but in business circles, that he doesn't want those names out. But if it's a hoax, then those names don't exist anyway. So, which is it? You can't have it both ways. You got to come up with one argument or the other, not contradictory arguments to make your point, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you, Dr. Francine.
What do I know?
Double trouble. Double going once.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now we can.
I'm so sorry. Let me step outside. I got it. Okay, sorry. I was just, never mind. Gary, thank you for having me on your stage. I just wanted to, I think something that still amazes me, Trump entered the political arena in 2016, and it's like people are still surprised at his tactics and everything. But I would just say with this Epstein thing, consider what he is holding. Like it's so visible. His entire base is angry. They want to release the files. All the Republican congressmen want the files released. The Democrats, I bet you, are sort of 50-50 about it, but they're doing it because they think it's politically convenient. I would bet you that Trump doesn't actually care, like himself personally, if they get released. But imagine the leverage he's holding over somebody or some small group of people. Just imagine. They can see how much he's doing for that. Like, look, he can just be like, look how angry these people are at me. All these people are angry at me. I'm doing this for you. Think about that type of leverage and how important this is for him and what he's getting out of the deal. He's getting something out of the deal here, Gary. You just have to think of him like a mob boss, and then everything else makes sense. But this clearly is very valuable to him. So people should really sit back and contemplate, why is this so important? What is going on here? What would change? Anyway.
Thank you, Double. Another interesting perspective. Chris.
Hey, what's going on, Gary?
Hey, Chris.
Hold on, let me start at this. Hey, Meryl, I do apologize. And me calling you honey is a sign of endearment, not a sign of disrespect. Your backlog of the information there. Oh, 1 second. "Are you all right?" Dog just spread it past me. Well, the backlog to the information you gave actually was important. I just understand that we've heard it a million times before, and it's probably going to be kind of, it just sounds repetitive. It sounds like, because you never even gave your take on what the actual situation was, which, again, your choice, not mine to dictate how you speak. All right. Gary, how are you today?
Chris, I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, as a man, I had to apologize to Meryl, even though I still feel like she filibustered the time. It's her time. So
Everybody
I'm doing
gets
good, man.
angry
I'm
with
doing good. Hey,
Meryl.
remember just yesterday when I
And
told you
Trump
I'm
ain't a
tired of those
pedophile.
conversations, Gary? We got to figure out how to keep things fresh, but I do understand them. Remember that conversation just yesterday, about 24 hours ago?
Yes.
Gary, this is when you always prove me that you're doing something right. Because we got back to what I feel is important to society. And it is a repetitive conversation about Jeffrey Epstein and why the President of the United States decides that none of this is informative to anybody anymore after he told his base, specifically his base, not me. I'm not his base. I am a United States citizen, but I am not his base. He told his base specifically, when I get in that White House, we're going to clean out that swamp. We're going to get those bad guys that did those terrible things to those little girls immediately. First thing on the agenda, we're going to get them. That and deporting those immigrants. So now we're here again. Now we're here at the time where the president gets to tell everybody, there's nothing there to see. I went through the information. You all know it. I know it. If you don't believe what I'm saying, you're an idiot. You're stupid. Do I think he's protecting himself? I don't know, Gary. Do I think, as the last guy double stated, that he's protecting the wealthy people around him and maybe it's easier to have a little leverage over them doing it this way? Hey, Gary, I don't know. If it came out like Jason, I believe, well, you know, it's probably best to keep all the information tucked away until after his term because it could just tear down the country. Fine. If that's the terrible logic you think that we should protect pedophiles, I don't want to say the word, I don't know the logic, and I know that one guy is in here or what he was in here recording, but you know what I mean. The P word. Like we need to protect them just so we can have some sense of status quo that we no longer actually carry in this country. Hey, as long as that makes you able to sleep at night, you believe what you want to. Let's get to the question. The question is, should Congress release the Epstein files? Yes, we all agree. We all should agree. We all should agree it shouldn't take a minute longer, a day later, or a second too fast, or a second too slow, excuse me. Because those little girls, who are now women, are still sitting around watching their abuser get rich, their abuser stay under the radar, their abuser have to face any justice. Those little girls could be your children, snatched away from your house, leaving school, going to school, sent to a place she has no clue about, trained and tailored by a woman who has only tactics in her life is to make sure the man that she's serving enjoys the pleasure that your child who was kidnapped is now have to get. Working a summer job, and now your daughter from that summer job is being hit on by millionaires, offered gifts, and now she's being taken advantage of on someplace you don't see her anymore. Again, if we're going to continue to try to protect these guys, just say that in your opening monologue, in your analysis conversation. Everybody seems to have analysis. Nobody has an opinion anymore. In your analysis conversation, just say, you know what? I don't want him to lose. And I'm speaking of Donald. I don't want him to lose in this situation. So we'll just protect the pedophiles. Because that's what we're doing when we don't bring justice for those women. Those girls are now women. Imagine that. Imagine your daughter having to do 10 years of having some type of sexual abuse from somebody that's not in your family also. A stranger, a wealthy man, a man you probably could not touch if you had the opportunity to. And now he gets an additional 10 to 15 years. And now he gets an additional 3 to 6 months. He gets an additional 2 or 3 days. He gets an additional week of freedom. Because the public's parties that we chose decided it's easier to protect them than it is to protect your children. It's amazing. It's amazing to witness. I did not see what happened today. I knew it was coming. Watched something just yesterday, and they spoke about having those women on the steps at 10:30. I was asleep this morning, but I plan on watching it the moment I get off here, because I want to see the women who have finally spoken up about something that the American people are trying to be taught to forget about. They're trying to teach us to forget about it in real time. Yeah, I can't say the president has done anything wrong outside of what he's currently doing. Trying to belittle a fact that we all know are facts. I don't know if he touched girls. I know he's a creep. We've all seen evidence of that. He's been liable for that. I don't know if he likes little women, little girls, not little women, little girls. But I'm watching him actively try to move the goalpost so little girls don't get justice. I'm watching him move the goalpost so rich, wealthy men don't have to face prosecution that they deserve. So maybe he's not on the Epstein files as some type of participant. He's participating at the highest of levels. And that's going to hinder, again, I said this the last time we talked about Epstein, and I thank you, Gary, for also, like I told you last time, you said it. When it hits the news cycles again, hey, it'll probably be back on the stage, and it did. So I commend you for that, because there's a lot of people that's still scared to have this conversation. And I'm not a Democrat or Republican at this point. I'm an independent. I voted Democrat in the last election because they had the best things for us. And that's why you see the mug in my PTR. Because you had a choice. We all had a choice. The choice was right there for you. You can say, oh, I didn't like her policies, but you didn't know the other guy's policies outside of immigration and Epstein files. Now he's doing great with the immigration, even though he's harassing everybody. And now we're watching him duck out on the Epstein files. So he's 50-50 right now. But the last candidate would have been better, and you would have been able to sleep a little bit better at night, regardless of how you feel about our international affairs. But the truth of the matter is, we're now watching them, and I mean them as the Republican Party. And shout out to Marjorie Taylor and the other few women that actually stood up for this. And I'm glad women stood up for this. Because it would have been really sad if we watched some hands-made tale of women actually not wanting to stand up for women because their color that they wear on their top. So I'm very honored to see women standing up for this. But I think it's time for the American people, and even the people in this room that find the opposite side of every argument to argue, to realize this is probably not the argument to have that argument with. Those women deserve justice, just like your child would deserve justice. Just like you wouldn't want any rich man to ever walk past your daughter and grope her with his eyes, regardless of how wealthy he is. And if you are that type of guy, then you're a terrible person. And I'm okay with saying that, because I would like to protect women. Hey, Gary, again, Meryl, you can come off with, if you are in here, I would like for you to come off of Mike so I can apologize to.
Well, she heard you apologize. She's here on the stage. Thank you, Chris. Chris brings up.
I don't need acknowledgement. I just need to get that off. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing that. By the way, I'm sure she appreciates it. So I think Chris brings up a very interesting point, because I mentioned correctly that the president never specifically mentioned that he would go after Epstein. But he did, as Chris pointed out, repeatedly promise to go after pedophilias. He actually created, by, I think, executive order, some programs in the Justice Department during his first term of office. He later pledged to go after pedophile rings and traffickers. He did say in 2020 that he was, quote, saving the world from a satanic pedophile cult, close quote. Now, I don't know where we've ever seen publicly such evidence of a pedophilia cult verified than what we are seeing today with these women coming forward, and with the convictions of Epstein and Maxwell. This is not a conspiracy theory that was just proved that a pizza restaurant near the White House had a secret tunnel and a dungeon where they were keeping children, so that when the Clintons ordered pizza, whatever they put on the order was code for what type of child they wanted sent over through a tunnel that extended from the pizza parlor to the White House. And as we all know now, that after that unfortunate man went to save the children, it was just a storage room. There was no basement, and it was all made up. This is something that's not made up. This is something that's really, really happened. And yet the guy who claimed that he's going after saving us, not just going after, saving us from satanic pedophile cults, calls it a nothing burger, says it's a hoax. Again, a major contradiction. We are now at 6:01 p.m. Eastern time, so we will no longer be inviting people onto the stage, but we go into extra time to give everyone on the stage an opportunity to speak, and we now go to Yang.
Hi, Gary. I mean, at first, I really don't understand, because, I mean, Trump's been in DC for 10 years. I mean, he knows how politics works, right? But then I kind of like sort of that. I think, I mean, eventually Trump and Marco want something, I mean, very similar, right? So they want to drain the swamp, they want to tear down this establishment. But I mean, in the mind of Trump, he's having a war with those people, right? So I mean, I agree. The previous guy saying like, this file is a leverage he has, which he can use them to control and fight against him. I mean, what he always say, like, you don't have cards, so why would you give up the cards to? For this battle, right? So I don't think it's personally about protecting himself. I mean, he's already committed villain for having sex with a porn star, right? I mean, how bad it can be compared with that, right? So I think so. I think from his mind, he's playing a longer game. I mean, he's in DC for 10 years. He knows how to play politics with those people. So he thinks this is a battle which obviously he can sacrifice for the ultimate purpose of eventually tear down the establishment. I mean, whether or not he will become a new establishment, we don't know. But right now, I think this is obviously what has happened. I mean, in terms of why he is so against his base, I think two reasons. The first one is like, I mean, campaign and governing are very different things, right? During campaign, you can say those very, wishful, you got your wish list, right? But when you govern, you have to be very careful. You have to be very calculative about each steps about how to achieve that goals. I mean, for those, people who say, "Oh, release the file." I think, to be honest, for a lot of those congressmen, they may secretly hope that file not got released. They just want Trump to look bad, because I think they also have very strong connection with those rich and powerful people. It's only the fact because they know Trump can hold those Republicans for now, and then they can just blame Trump for not releasing the file. So I wouldn't give them credit for saying that release the file. I mean, from the Trump's perspective, I think he's confident that he has his base, so he can disobey his base a little bit, but it was this point. I mean, even during the peak of this like scandal, right? So I think his approval among MAGA and Republicans are still like, if not 100%, but 90 to 95%, right? So from a pure tactic perspective, he has his base, and he can disobey his base a little bit without losing too much support. Why give up a car and then not using his car to his advantage? It just doesn't make any sense. So I think basically what happened is he made a deal with a lot of those people, and he uses as a leverage to do things that he need them to do. Maybe someone even in the Supreme Court, for example, maybe, we don't know. And now he has his tariff agenda. Maybe he's using this as one of the leverage. You never know, right? So there are so many things. I think from his perspective, he repeatedly say, let's focus on the big picture. So this is his agenda is a full mark agenda. So he's using this tool to achieve ultimate goal. I think at the end of days, when he achieved his objective, then those leverages become a more of a political liability for him. He may release a file. Yeah, so that's what I think.
Thank you, Yang. Diogenes.
Yeah, some of you may be familiar with the work of Whitney Webb. She pointed out that, first and foremost, Jeffrey Epstein was a financial criminal. He dabbled in sex trafficking. An important distinction that we need to make moving forward is that pedophilia is a term that comes from psychology and is used to diagnose individuals who have an attraction or exhibit an attraction to minors 13 years or younger. There is no accusation that Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein was involved with minors of that age. What they were in fact convicted of was crimes related to girls who were under the age of 18. This is not a defense, but it's important that we understand the definitions. Ultimately, it's ironic that we're talking about whether or not some files should be released that may or may not shed light on whether or not Jeffrey Epstein had ties to important individuals who are currently representing us and holding powerful and important positions, including top secret clearances in our government. In 2008, there was a tidal wave of fraud. A tidal wave of fraud. Most of that fraud is right out in the open. Multiple people lied in testimony to Congress, which is perjury, it's a felony. And most of the large banks and financial institutions committed some kind of fraud. No one, not a single person has been prosecuted for that. Charges haven't been brought. Indictments haven't even been brought against those people. And so I do want to stress to listeners who are sitting here wringing hands and clutching pearls about whether or not some files should or should not be released and why Trump may or may not suddenly have reversed his position on this, that even if the files were released today, and the files said clearly these people were involved, which they won't, they couldn't. The so-called files could only ever be evidence. You wouldn't do anything about it. You, the public, won't do anything about it. You're all desperately hoping some bolt from the blue. You're hoping that some evidence will suddenly be released and broadcast to all of your telephones. At the same time, you'll get a push notification that will tell you, guess what? Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile. Not just someone who engaged in inappropriate grooming behaviors with women who worked for him, but he was actually a pedophile. And here's video evidence. Verified video evidence of him raping children. Now we're going to do something about it.
So how do you know what people, how do you know what people in this room or in the general public are hoping for? You have no idea of knowing what I, Alan, Merrill, Howard, Scott, Dismal, David, and Jane are hoping for. So get off your high horse and make your commentary without trying to put words in the mouths of other people here, all of whom are very in articulating their feelings and do not need your help to do so.
You don't need to be offended or defensive about this.
I am not being defensive about it. I am telling you that it is offensive to think that you are in a position to speak on behalf of these other people. If you want to ask people what they feel and what they hope will occur if these files are released, that's fine. But don't try to speak on their behalf. Speak on your behalf.
Sure, I'll rephrase. So ultimately, the public at large hopes and prays that someone else will handle everything. We don't need to go looking for bogeymen. We don't need to go looking for hidden evidence of felonies. Some of the most unjust things that have happened in recent history happened right out in the open, and they were financial crimes. They remain unprosecuted. There are no conversations about the failure to prosecute.
What does that have to do with this?
So if you're going to keep interrupting me,
I will, because I'm moderating, and I am moderating. And sometimes the moderation requires
times when people fall off track to redirect them. And so if I'm incorrect in me asking you to redirect, you can tell me so, but what does that have to do with this? Are you trying to throw in whataboutism to try to take us off the topic at hand, or are you actually attempting to make a point that someone might learn something from?
I don't understand. So let me help you understand, Gary. You are looking for bogeymen right now.
Thank you very much for after I asked you to not speak on people's behalf, speaking on my behalf. Who the hell are you to tell me what I'm doing, what I am looking for? I just got through telling you, ask. Don't tell me what I'm looking for. And by the way, sir, since you tried to lecture us, by the way, Alan, you're next. Since you tried to lecture us on the definition of pedophilia, you are correct that in a medical sense, the term pedophilia refers to the desire to have sex with children younger than the age of the children or the young people who were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein and God knows how many other people. However, in the legal sense, which is all that matters here, if you review any of the statutes, go to any of the federal statutes, go to any of the state statutes, having sex with a minor who, under the definition of the statute in the jurisdiction involved, who is under the age of consent, exposes yourself to prosecution for pedophilia. So it is not a mischaracterization to call this a pedophile ring. But thank you for at least pointing out you are correct that in a medical sense, you are absolutely right. A person who doesn't commit a crime can be a pedophile if he has these kinds of desires to have sex with children. From a medical sense, that's true. And a person such as that could undergo psychiatric treatment without exposing himself or herself to prosecution. We're not talking about what's in the minds of people. We are talking about the actions of people and the legal definitions. But thank you for trying to change the topic. And unfortunately for you, you were unsuccessful. Alan.
Gary, your skill at moderating is something to just behold. Even when I disagree with you, I have so much admiration. I agree the way you handled that. Gary, I need to apologize to you. The day that you removed me from the stage, it actually was me. I was pretexting, and I will never do it again. I had worked out something with another one of your moderators who was not here at the time, which partially caused the problem, but I was doing a Nixon impression. And because I was trying to promote something else that I was doing. So I apologize for that. I think pretexting should be out of your room as well as mine, but that's yours to do. I was really inspired today by the autonomy these women showed in the press conference. They are going to take control of their situation regardless of what the president does, and that is great. And I think we should all recognize that the only way when you're powerless to have power is to just fucking take the power. I am not at all scared. Of course, I'm not really a Democrat. I'm actually a Republican in hiding, but I'm not at all scared that the Democrats are going to be found out in the Epstein files because the Democratic Party is not a cult. Unlike the Republican Party, which is a cult. And I'm not saying every Republican is a cultist, but clearly, these women who are signing these petitions now, like Boebert and Green, sure, they need the cover, but it doesn't matter if they don't get the final signature. And so I think Mike Johnson is a coward, and I think he has demonstrated his lack of concern for America's women. And I think that if we get the full number of signatures, I'll have more respect for Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. But right now, if you count noses, it doesn't really matter, right? Does that make sense?
Well, I really love your initial comment that you respect, and I didn't mention this, and I'm glad you did, because I was remiss for not making this observation. You respect the autonomy of these women who are taking control of the narrative and taking the control of their lives and not waiting for Congress or waiting for the president to do the right thing. Their comment that, basically, F you, if you're not going to release the information, we'll compile our own list and try to stop us because you can't, because we are too strong in numbers. And again, I just think it was terrific that several of the women, when they went to the microphone, called on other victims to step forward. And I bet some of them will. They may not publicly step forward, but I bet they contact that attorney. I hope they do. I pray they do. It'll be good for them if they can do anything to take control of their life, because when something like this happens, as several of the women pointed out, the therapy that they had to go under, part of their life is stripped away from them that will never be returned. Imagine if it was your daughter or my granddaughter, God forbid. They would change their personalities forever. These women are rising above one of the worst kinds of adversity anybody can experience, and bravo to them. And I'm glad you pointed that out. With regard to Mike Johnson, it's become abundantly clear in this case and in all the others that the one thing Mike Johnson wants more than anything else is to remain Speaker of the House. And so he will do whatever it takes to please the president, to ensure that the president not orchestrate a congressional coup to remove him, which by the new rules that the Republicans themselves established is a relatively easy thing to do now. So I think that's his motivation, and we should recognize that, and I'm glad you pointed that out as well, Alan.
I need to give Yossi part of the credit for reminding me of this thing. Also, no punishment for bad behavior is the new rule in the Republican Party. This whole crap about therefore the rule of law, sending people into Chicago, when the president himself was told by a court yesterday here in California that he had violated the law, and yet it doesn't matter because he's already done it, and we're past the time limit. So I think anytime the Republicans want to say that they are for the rule of law, we should just laugh their asses out of the room, because they've proven they're not. That's kind of my feeling on that one. And again, I apologize for the pretexting the other day. This platform is so unstable. Sometimes it's hardly even worth working with. But you do a great job. Thank you for having me on your stage today.
Thank you, Alan. Dismal.
Thank you, Gary. And I want to not repeat what others have said, so I'll just acknowledge I really appreciated what Dr. Francine and what Chris said on the stage. I will agree with Alan. I think that the women that showed up today not only demonstrated bravery, because many of them did face direct threats, harassment, and attempts to discredit their stories and other kinds of intimidation that were designed to keep the truth hidden. And it reveals a terrifying abuse of power, and that extends beyond the original crimes, but on their ability to actually get and receive justice. But I think just because you brought him up, Mike Johnson, initially on the Epstein files, his story was he wanted maximum transparency. And he then converted with balancing privacy for the victims. And what happened? I have to applaud basically the supporters that brought these women to Congress, because these women have now upended that story, that narrative that he wanted to paint, that he's protecting the women, because he can't now state that when the women themselves, the victims, are actually demanding the transparency. So I think that was actually a brilliant move. But what I wanted to actually raise is my concern with what the Epstein story has done with regards to Trump's decision making and that of leadership, because I think in recent months we've witnessed a very troubling pattern where whenever there are sensitive issues like the resurfacing of the Epstein case entering the public narrative, instead of addressing the matter directly and thoughtfully, there seems to be this attempt to basically divert public and media attention by making bold and swift actions, like the sudden military strikes on the Iranian nuclear sites in June, or the aggressive attention, even today, for example, the move for deploying the National Guard to Chicago was made during the actual conference that was occurring. The timing just suggests that there's this unwillingness to make fully deliberated decisions. And that's what concerns me, especially with regard to how are we spending taxpayer dollars and what does this mean for national security as a whole? I think we need to, for the health and welfare of our society, we need to call into question how these decisions are being made. We need far more oversight, unfortunately, than what our current members of Congress have been offering. And if this could create more concern and more oversight by creating this wedge issue, getting people that have been thus far very avid supporters of Trump to say, wait a second, he hasn't been very transparent on these issues, so maybe we need to scrutinize others. I'm all for it. I honestly, this wasn't something that I've been tracking as closely. My understanding from discussing this issue with others is that there have been podcasts going on about this issue for years, and to be quite, this just wasn't something I had been tracking, so I don't want to pretend that I was an expert. I'm sort of listening to the stories unfold now. I care more about the broader decisions for our country, and I just don't want there to be a haphazard decision made just to create and divert our attention from this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Dismal. And for those who are trying to get up on the stage, I appreciate your interest, but we're past the time where we can bring folks on the stage. However, feel free to click on the link above, join the chat on Facebook Messenger, and make your feelings known there. David.
Thank you. I've missed a lot of it, but thank you for the topic. And to the person who used 2008, I think the only minors that were hurt by that were the ones that lost their inheritance. But that as a comparison is so apples and oranges that it's upsetting to even hear it. I don't have it in front of me. I'm in the car, but when I read, I think it was the FBI or whoever opened Epstein's safe after he was unalived. There's evidence in that safe of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of pictures, digital CD-ROMs, money, records. There's enough in there to put a definite answer to what happened and who did it, just from what the FBI has there. And that's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Yeah, nobody is interested in revealing the names of the victims or, God forbid, the images of the victims. We want to know who the perpetrators are. And by the way, the more I think about Genesis diatribe, how do I pronounce that? Diatribe, thank you. The more I find it offensive because it's dismissive of the concerns for the victims. Just totally dismissive. And how can we, any of us, be like that? I just don't understand.
And I want to say really quickly, I mean, just because he died, certain victims were about to get some monetary compensation, and that vanished with his death. There was a huge amount of money in that estate, certainly, that should have gone to the victim. So there's a lot there to deal with.
You are correct. Thanks for bringing these issues up in a very succinct manner. Meryl, you get the last word.
Jane. Is Jane still on stage?
Nope.
I don't want to take up her time. Okay. Very quickly, Chris was right. I did forget to say that to address yes, I do want Congress to release the files. Yes, no, I don't hope to the other gentleman. I do not hope and pray for whatever it is that he thought I was praying for. And I do, regarding Congress, I think, and victims, I think we forget, and I tried to make this point. Those victims were also victimized by Ms. Maxwell. And our president, this president, interfered with the actual, what the intent of the sentence was. And that was just one more. Some of those victims did testify, and that was just one more attack on those victims, because it's also given her the opportunity to say they are all lying. So I wanted to make that very clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Meryl. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. New York time. So until 5 p.m. New York time tomorrow, for the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum, everybody be safe, be well, and peace out.
Yeah, that's fucked.
My mother told me.
This is a very consistent Republican thing. For now, we're talking over 30 years. So, but it's even a lot longer than that. But just in recent history, that's what it is.
And then there are things that they do subtly, like Ramona mentioned, voter ID, which is a very exclusively Republican effort to disenfranchise people from voting. There's also gerrymandering, which moves around districts and makes it funnel people into certain areas difficult for them to get to vote. Locally, there will be instances where areas where Black folks disproportionately vote, voter machines happen to be limited and or not working. I know here in Georgia, there were instances in certain places where the cords to the machines were missing for a great deal of time, and the machines weren't on. Now, that may not seem like an issue to you or I or some of us, but when you're waiting in line for 3 to 4 plus hours to vote, you get discouraged from going to vote, even if you actually did make the effort to go out and do that. Those people leave, even if they say, hey, listen, you can come back. There's still a chance that less people are going to come back than were here. Right. So those are all underhanded things to keep people from voting. On the other side of it, and I think I may be taking for granted what we have here in Georgia, or more specifically in Atlanta, but during the pandemic, And during the 2020 election, they opened up State Farm Arena where the Hawks play. And had voters machines during early voting where people could go and vote. And that is what made the difference in Georgia, as far as I'm concerned. Among a number of other things where they dump money into local projects like Georgia Voter Project, Georgia Black Voters, Stacey Abrams program. So there is a number of things that can happen in order to do that. It's just that they pass laws now where you can't even take people water while they're waiting in line. So, just little things like that to keep people from voting. So there is a pronounced effort to do that. And I'm sure in Louisiana, I'm sure it's much worse. So it's not a name. I mean, some of it is that they're just choosing not to go vote, but there is a reason.
Okay, so with all that in mind, just like when we talk about the perpetuance for Black people to commit crimes, and we get sentenced more harsher than other people, and we have these conversations, and I have these conversations with, my children and their friends. I said, if that's the case, don't commit crimes. I mean, why are we having this conversation right now? You understand the assignment, so to keep your ass away from that situation, point blank, period. So I'm just trying to figure out in the same vein, we got issues, and if this making it harder for us to vote, then we have to come together as a community. I don't know that community. See, it's hard for me to talk on other people's shit. I try not to, because I'm not there and I don't know the hardships. But people who live there do know the hardships, and they need to try to figure out a way. If people want to vote, because do they want to vote? You know what I'm saying? Because I want to Google the turnout for the last election, and I can't because I'm driving. I'll Google when I get home.
I can tell you this, it's really, really low.
Yeah.
It's really low. It's low for a number of reasons. I mean, again, it's not just one thing.
I get you. I understand. Yeah.
You got brothers who have felonies who can't go and vote.
Well, they're eliminated. Okay, let's put them on the side.
Or you've got people who have access to vehicles. If my voting place is more than a few miles from me.
Yeah.
So, the way that we try to balance that here is as a matter of fact, more specifically, Jesus took some buses into the hood.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And put people on buses to go and vote during a state election. So that was just one example. I'm just giving that because people know who he is. That's a pronounced effort. That's a very direct effort to get people not only registered, but they get them actually participating in the process in general. But I don't know that Boosie is going into his neighborhood because he can't vote himself, but chooses to endorse, at least verbally, Donald Trump, which is a whole other problem. Is you got people like that where ignorance just begets ignorance. People are telling people that do listen to him that voting is not something that's advantageous for us. So, there's a number of things. It ain't just one thing. But some people do go vote. It's just not, you're just not trying to get everybody to vote. You're just trying to discourage, as many people as you can. It's not an all or nothing thing. It's just picking off numbers here and there. It's a numbers game.
Lisa, I got a question. If you need an ID to vote, then people need to be out here, and there needs to be community outreach so that you can get access to get that ID. It should become at no charge so that you can participate in the process, okay? Mm-hmm. Because they're making you have an ID in order to participate, then they should be able to provide you with that ID. Period. That's it.
Right. They should be providing you.
They should be making it possible that you are able to get the documentation that you need to go and vote. If they're making it mandatory that you have that information in order to vote.
You know what? I don't know if anybody's done this. Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome, and have a good day. I don't know if anybody ever voted for yourself. Like, did you manually change the names of the candidates and just put your name on every freaking category? Has anyone ever done that before?
So what also happens during the process is actually there are different people. Our lieutenant governor and our secretary of state who at one point was Brian Kemp, scrubs voter rolls. So if you've been on the roll for too long and haven't voted, they just fucking take you
takes a
off.
while. Yeah.
And then you have to go and re-register again. Again, it's just every little bit counts. That's all it means. That every little effort counts to take one more person off the rolls to vote. Because why? Because these people generally don't vote for us anyway. So what do we care if they vote?
Yeah, Raffensperger just scrubbed the voting rolls again here. He just did it.
Well, there's a consensus because go ahead, brother. There's a consensus because you have to understand that even though you have multiple demographics, nationalities voting for such candidate, right? Whatever that is, whether it's a local election, whether it's a, you know what I'm saying? You a primary, you have to understand that the individual doesn't know of the inner workings behind the scenes, who's related, who's not related. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things and who raised enough money for the campaign, who's your, you know what I'm saying? So there's so many different levels, you know what I'm saying, to that. And, you know what I'm saying? You really don't have the final say of who you really want to be president or whatever constituent categories.
But that's not, yeah, but I get that, but you have to vote. Shit. I mean, whoever's on there, you may not like.
That's not the point. It's probably voter rolls.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. You still got a number. Who's at the gym? I hear Trevor.
I'm sorry, that's me. I'm sorry.
I'm jealous. I'm just jealous. I'm hearing no bells and I'm starting to twitch a little bit.
My ass got this motherfucker on 5 and acting like it's on 9 or something. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Are you running? 5.0? Most? Are you incline?
I should no. No. I should be. If I'm at 9, I should be sprinting. But I'm not. I'm just out of shape.
I'm telling you, hey, don't worry about it. As long as you're on it, I don't even start feeling it or doing anything till it's time for me to get off. Then I want to get special and start running faster. And then
you gotta mix it up.
I know I gotta do the hit, but it's just that's too much energy. I need somebody standing there next to me to monitor me because I'll be like, oh God, here we go.
Monitor you? God is monitoring you. What you talking? He's spotting you when you're doing them. Never mind.
As long as you're moving. At least I just want to say, I check my voter registration every 3 to 4 months because they are scrubbing the voter registration.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I check mine every 3 to 4 months to make sure I'm still registered. And I've been registered since I was 18. So that's just
PSAs because it seemed like, you know what, guys, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Maybe I should wait till I get to the 420 to start talking like this. But I'm really getting so sick and tired of the excuses. Because you know why? I was talking to Grampy the other day, and she was giving me all this wisdom, trying to get me out of my funk. And she was like, she was talking about, girl, you ain't seen hard times. I was like, yes, I have. And they're like, no, you ain't seen hard times. I had to get on my knees and scrub white folks' floors and all. And she just starts giving me the business. I had to pick cotton. I was like, you ain't pick, So what I'm saying is like, I think we need to stop complaining, and we know what the obstacles are. We're clear. If you're not clear, then we need to start having PSAs in our community. If I have to, I don't live in the community that I want to serve, but I can put on my Adidas NMDs and start walking down the street and no, I won't be knocking on doors. Never mind.
Okay, Jehovah's Witnesses, Lisa.
I was gonna be a bullet. You must have a bulletproof vest on because you can't knock on motherfuckers' doors anymore.
Sister Wife, you are not to be out here in no tennis shoes anywhere by yourself because
you have to start knocking on doors and telling people, especially our population, because they have every fucking excuse for why they can't get this shit together. So I'm just saying.
I don't. Let's put it as like. When you're doing nothing wrong, I just feel the urge to attack you.
And
I just fucking get the bad way.
And this guy is a shawarma eating kanafa bacon, financier. He's just an annoying person.
a narcissistic, selfish person. Yes, Buttercup. It's about narcissism. It's about you caring for your own ass, willing to sacrifice the Jewish people. We have a word for this. It's called couple. It's people that were willing to align with Nazis and sacrifice their Jewish brothers and sisters for their sake. Let me break it down to you, Buttercup. They may kill you last, but they will also kill you. Because as much as you want to align with them, they will still see you as a Jew that needs to die. And when you will be attacked, you will pack your bags and you will come to Israel. Then, maybe then, after a few years living there, maybe you will have a voice to speak out. Until then, we don't give a fuck about how you think we should live our life. You are not part of us. You are not an Israeli citizen, and I can have a lot of opinion about how you should be a better person and how you should destroy your life so we can build it better. But that is your life, and that is our life. And we keep on telling you that your statements are not humane, moral, or just. They're genocidal, they are hateful, and they're ignorant. And because you're a Jew, they're also, how do you call it, treacherous, like as a traitor. And this, the only reason that it can be that you are selfish with this moral supremacy, this white savior, whatever that bullshit, I'm not a shrink, you should go talk to someone. But please, don't use us to feel better about yourself.
It doesn't matter where she's going, my friend. Doesn't matter. She's doing harm. And your halas, it's also doing harm. No halas. Give me back my brothers and one sister that are still there. Go on your knees, surrender, and then we will halas. Until then, no halas, my friend. No halas. You're living in a dream. A dream.
Do your, I see that you're writing in your chat that your Palestinian friends are not going to the rallies because it's too extreme for them. Tell me, when did you and your Palestinian friends go out in a rally that has those extreme messages like release the hostages? I want to see a picture of you. You can blur your face with your Palestinian flags, with your Palestinian friends going out to the street of New York with holding signs saying release the hostages or saying Hamas is a terror organization. Or is this too extreme for your Palestinian friends?
To say Hamas is harming the Palestinian people also, and hijack Jewish people and Israelis, even Arab Muslims and Christians from Israel and Thais and all kinds of people from the states of Israel. Instead of going and doing rallies and saying Hamas is the blame one, tell them to bring the hostages back, release Gaza from their indoctrination or whatever they are doing there, and that's it. But no, opposite. Stop the war, Hamas is to be there, they are good for the Gazans.
You know, Shlomi, she asked you why you offended by her. She also asked me in the chat, like, Danielle, but why, like, I'm not offending you. Why are you so offended? Literally, she comes every day calling for the one state.
You think, no, wait, Daniel, if she asks that, I will answer her when she's downstairs. You offended me, but I'm not a crybaby like you are. Wow, it's amazing. Exactly like the Palestinians, like Hamas.
Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Always.
Fuck you, free Palestine.
Fuck Israel. Fuck his mama. This motherfucker's killing baby.
Yeah.
Buttercup, listen. Buttercup, those are your people. When you go to sleep with dogs, please don't come here crying when you wake up with fleas. And when you, just one sentence. And Buttercup, when you look around and you see that you're surrounded with anti-Semites and Nazis, and you say, I don't align with them, they align with you, you need to ask yourself, why am I surrounded with them? No, she's still here. She left.
Okay. But I'm still gonna say it. She acted exactly like Palestinians, like Hamas. She's coming, attacking me, like in a beautiful way, asking me, and I will repeat her question. Did captivity made you a little bit more aggressive, Shlomi? I find that very, very offensive. But I didn't say anything. But when she got a little bit offensive after that, she came and, exactly like Hamas and the Palestinians.
Exactly like that.
Attacking you, stabbing you in the back, and then when they're getting back, not a knife, a dick in the ass, like properly dick in the ass.
You're so cruel. You're unkind. This is chutzpah to the max to ask to accuse you of being aggressive because you were held captive. This is maximum chutzpah. What do you expect from a person like her?
It's not chutzpah. No, it's a new way of living and a new way.
Well, she plays the victim. She plays the victim like the Palestinians.
It's a new way of behaving. There is chutzpah, there is honor. Now there is a new way of behaving. It's Palestinianism.
Yeah. Palestinism. Yeah. But this is nothing new, though, Shlomi. They've been doing this since the 1960s. They've been doing like this. They're the victims of the world.
No, but like our people to act like that because they are advocating for them, and like.
I don't really believe she's Jewish, honestly. I really don't believe so.
I don't care, bro. I don't know why you are trying and...
I'm not trying. Me personally, I don't believe it. But, I mean, anybody else can think whatever they want, but I don't believe it.
No, every time to give her the stage and try to explain her how she's wrong and she's doing bad to her.
Because I think it's actually hilarious, show me. It's just
the same people
funny.
like Amos, and there is no need to give any energy. Yeah, go ahead there, Sophie.
I was just saying it's funny. I think it's hilarious because they make themselves look stupid. And honestly, I think that's the best entertainment you can get. It's better than Netflix, I think. I love coming on here and listening to how stupid people sound. I really do. I think it's great. So sometimes, it can be annoying. Yeah, whatever. But listen, when she's going against some smart people on here, I mean, she's going to get defeated every fucking time. It's nothing new. You know, so, and then when she gets defeated, she'll play the victim card like she always does. That's what she does. Then, look what she wrote. This room's extremely unkind. We've had several conversations, and she'll, try to point it back at you like you're the enemy. Like you're the aggressive one.
Acting Palestinians is.
Yeah. She learned from them very well. Oh, man. Too funny.
The fact that she's a woman sounds like a cute voice with a cartoon. She's always going to be able to take over an audience, especially giving a polarized speech. So she's a good example of somebody your father should warn you about and say, you know what? Don't marry a liberal.
That's also.
That's your girlfriend in the picture, John?
Kids.
She's one of the things that has come out of running for Congress.
Very nice. Well, this has been a very entertaining room today. We've had all walks of life of terrorists coming our room today from Clubhouse. It's amazing.
Well, you know what else is amazing is that Shlomi has lived it. It's not just somebody coming on here giving their political rhetoric. Shlomi's personal lived experience is all the evidence you need to basically support his position. Because when you've actually experienced it and you're not just on here running your mouth, projecting all the propaganda you've consumed, I mean, it's the evidence you need to defeat the opponent.
No, but but she thinks I need to be kind of the fertility, not aggressive to those people. Definitely, if they have my brothers and one sister there also still. Maybe after they bring them back, stability and everything will go down also.
I can't believe anybody has the nerve to open their mouth to you. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm naive.
I mean, they did it to Shlomi in Amir's room. They did it to you in Amir's room that one time. So
no,
I mean,
it's not for Amir. I'm not expecting anything else, but it happened for Amos. It definitely will happen for me, Gal. It will go so on and so on, and it's happening with people like that. The people that think like this. That's it. The same that I will find here the people that are thinking the same, that are 1% of this country. No, I'm exaggerating a little bit more, but they are a minority. It's like 200,000 people. From 8 million, I don't know the math of the percentage. But if I will face them in the street, I will get the same, no. So I'm not surprised, my friend.
But why does he really think that that's a conspiracy? Like, I don't understand. Why is it bad? Like, if that happened, why would you think that's a conspiracy?
Because it's the same like they hate Bibi and they don't care what's gonna happen in the middle. You understand?
But wouldn't that make their stance of hating Bibi even more? Like, because if they said that, if they're saying that they knew about it in the morning before and they didn't tell Bibi, because they're saying that Bibi.
No,
okay, I see.
The morning before, it's the night.
Early morning. That's what I meant. Early morning. So they pretty much are saying that Bibi knew about it before and did nothing. But what you're
didn't know about that before.
Okay, and according to your story, that's what verifies that, and that's why people like Igal and her are denying that, because they think Bibi knew about it and did nothing. Am I correct on that?
The first time that Bibi knew about it was 6 and something.
Like when it was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to you that morning, bro. Everybody was shocked. Like, you didn't know what the fuck. We didn't know what was going on. I mean, it was just rockets, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. It was only rockets.
Like, we had no idea that there was going to be terrorists coming over the border. So. But shortly after I spoke with you, I saw it on the TV. You know?
Hey, Shlomi.
Yeah, you saw on the TV.
Yeah, and so the
on TV, bro.
I saw Hamas terrorists on pickup trucks driving into Sredot and the kibbutzim around, and with guns mounted on the top, and dead bodies. Like they were showing like dead bodies scattered around. They were showing them driving, like trying to get into buildings and stuff. And people that were living in the city were filming it. So I remember I was messaging you, like asking you if there was anything going on, and that's when we were talking, bro. We had the voice chat, you know, about what was happening. So
We were. You mean that day? We were in.
Yeah.
I don't provide evidence for you. Go ask Ronen Bar for the evidence, okay?
Yeah.
He is in interrogation. Needs to be, not me, my friend.
We were.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. You're bothering me.
We were in a room.
Wait, Abby, I'm gonna end my sentence and sorry. And what I told you, I heard in the media. And if you wanna go, look for it. If you don't want, don't look for it. I don't wanna prove you anything. Don't come to me. Don't ask me for anything. Don't engage with me. Okay? I don't wanna speak with you. Thank you.
There's articles all over about it. There's like you just Google Ronen Bar, and then knew about October 7th. It's like all over. It's a bunch of articles. I don't know what he's saying. It's conspiracy.
Let him think what he wants to think. I don't want to engage with him anymore. And don't come to me and don't ever reach to me. You are bothering me. Thank you.
So we're talking about that day, which you didn't know. We were all in a room.
whole bunch of us that day. And then, Harry, do you remember I was on the phone with Adele?
Yeah.
Adele, that was the craziest part. Adele's like, I think they're coming to my house. I'm going in my safe room. That was crazy. And we had this whole conversation with Adele about her dog and what to do about her dog, because if she took the dog in the safe room, the dog would bark. So, I mean, it's so nuts remembering back in real time and worrying about you and Jake. And just like everyone coming in back and forth into the room that day. Harry, you remember all that?
Yeah, of course.
I called her 2 nights ago. We had a long catch up.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the phone after we were in the room, then I called her separately and I talked to her while she was in her safe room. I mean, and she heard them breaking windows in her home.
Yeah, they tried her windows. That's right. And as I recall, they were also like trying to open the door on the other side of the safe room. In those days, they didn't lock.
She had her son with her, keeping the door shut.
Son-in-law.
Was it son-in-law?
Yeah.
Girl, if you think that I'm lying and you care and that I'm spreading lies, go through me.
No, Igal, think for a second. I was going to say this about Igal. Why would Shlomi lie? Of all things to lie, it's just inconceivable. We're all trying to figure out the truth to fix it. But I want to say about Igal that when you believe something your whole life with all of your heart and soul, and then the thing that you believed is shown to be false. Maybe some of our older guys remember the fire science. Everything you know is wrong. It's cognitive dissonance. It's suddenly the world turned upside down. And part of that is the idea, obviously, of the two-state solution. That if we're nice
No. Stop trying to convince him. Igal, we don't care if the people in the room that really wanted to find out if it's a lie or no went and Google it or asked AI or ChatGPT and everything. We don't care that you're trying to do something else here and to prove something else. Again, I'm telling you, if I'm lying and you don't care, and if you care, I see that you care that I'm lying, yeah? Go sue me. Leave us alone now. Because we're going to throw you from the room now. And you can sue me on that also.
Hey, free representation here if he does.
Remove from room. Thank you. Fuck off. לך תתבעתי, go sue me, lying, whatever. Sue me that I...
This is how the lefties are in Israel, man. Like, this is nothing new. Like, this is how they act towards people that were hostages, towards people that don't agree with them. It's fucking insane. They're delusional people. That's how they are. They're crazy, the lefties in Israel. Crazy. And Ecos and Amos are a great example of them. They're dangerous people.
I'm not afraid, my friend.
I'm not saying physically. They're not dangerous physically. They're dangerous by them spreading lies. That's what I meant.
Yeah, in that way, in that matter, in that way, I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, it's fucking dangerous shit, man. And you provide the evidence of them, and they still deny it. That's how fucking brainwashed they are. Shit's crazy, man. You'll never to see the right way. That always will be how they are. Lefty idiots. And if they were in power in Israel would have been gone after October 7th, probably. They would have gave them a fucking country, probably, already by now. Disgusting, the lefty. Disgusting people.
Not much better in the U.S.
They're just as bad.
So you might have fun talking to retards on this app, but the opportunity cost that it's costing you to come on here and have these endless, meaningless, stupid conversations with brainwashed retards, I mean, is it really, worth it?
Of course it's worth it, John. Why do you come on here? You do the same thing. You record.
Well, I'm a filmmaker like El Normo. I'm creating product. I'm creating product. I'm a filmmaker. I've got 30 YouTube accounts, 5,000 subscribers. I'm trying to make money out of all these retards. Meanwhile, you're just talking to retards, wasting all your time.
Yeah, but I'm helping you get the content because if not, they'll just be talking to themselves.
I'm telling you up front, John, if you will use my words or my name, I'm want to get the percentage, my friend.
As soon as Netflix sends me a shekel, I'll send it straight to you.
Right. There's something called consent, John. It's a magic word. Look it up.
I live in Illinois. You should look up the laws in Illinois, Abby.
Hey, I really don't care what the laws are in Illinois. I care what the laws are where I live. And there's a word called consent.
And if you will take something that I said without asking me,
Abby, you should look up the laws.
Yeah.
Talk, my friend.
It's going to cost you
Somehow we will
money.
meet.
You'll own his home, showing me by the end of it.
You know, only certain people could remember that it was. I think it was 50 years to the day since the Yom Kippur War, that they attacked on October 7th. I'm not saying that happened on October 7th because I don't remember the date, but it was 50 years. Isn't that crazy? The sneak attack.
Yeah, it was what's it called? Simchat Torah day.
Yeah. Yes.
שלומי, אני בארץ בסוף החודש.
יאללה, for the wedding?
Yeah, for the wedding.
יאללה, בשעה טובה. מזל טוב.
אח שלנו מתחתן. מי מתחתן? Who's getting married, Abby?
Yeah, no, not me. Never again.
Family member?
She's no. So that's a really cute story. My kids were little babies. I had an au pair. I had au pairs.
מטפלת.
Metapella. Yeah. So I had in the beginning from Sweden.
Well,
and they drank
au pair is like a live-in metapelet.
A live-in, right? So they like to drink too much, the Swedish girls. So I decided I'm going to get Israeli. And I had an Israeli au pair. And then, every year you get a new one. But this one I became very close to. She had an identical twin sister. And we stayed close over the years. So now they have their own children. Two of them are my au pair has two boys that are in Sahel now. And the twin sister has 3 girls. And one of the girls is getting married. So they're like my family to me. Actually, the get-togethers when I'm over there with, Evan and Guy and have met these girls. But so
where is it, the wedding?
It's in a really beautiful place. Oh, wait, hold on. She texted me the name of it. It's, I guess it's a venue
Should
for
you be
a
saying
wedding.
this, Abby? Should you be saying
Yeah, what people are going to go to Israel and go to the venue. I didn't say when it was.
Okay.
It's just a venue. Wait, I'll tell you. I have no qualms in saying where it is. It's at, let's see if you know this. I'm looking at the invite. Oh, damn it, it's in Hebrew. Wait, I gotta translate it. It's north of Tel Aviv. Emek Hefer?
Emek Hefer.
Yeah. You know where that is?
Yes.
There's it's a venue.
I don't know the venue. It's a place. It's like it's a city.
K-A-H-I? Kahai? K-A-H-I. Google it. Kahai. K-A-H-I. Bishvil Misiba, it's
maybe also Kahi?
Kahi, maybe?
Maybe Kahi
Yeah,
Resort. Event venue in Israel. Looks gorgeous.
Yeah. Looks nice.
I see water.
We know it's
Kai.
in Israel.
Kai. Yes.
the weddings. You know.
Well, this was supposed to be, you know, you guys know the story. It was in Europe en route to Israel when the war broke out in June. So they had to.
What a nice place.
Nice place, isn't it? So they had to
Very
postpone the wedding.
You're staying there? It's
No,
like I think
no.
like a.
אני
Okay.
במלון בתל אביב, זה לא. Now I'm not going to dox myself where I'm staying, but no.
No, it's okay because I think it's a hotel also, but it looks very nice.
Yeah, it does look nice.
You know, Daniel, there's no better hotel in Israel than the Daniel Hotel in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, the Norman.
Daniel Hotel?
He's saying the Dan.
Ah, the Dan.
Yeah.
John.
That's the one with the agam colors, right? With the colors, right?
Yeah, that's a nice
There's
hotel.
2 Dans
There is 2 Dans, yeah.
and only 1 Norman.
You can say that again.
I want to go back and stay at. It's called the 100.
Yeah, but I was in Royal Beach, like in Tel Aviv.
You like Royal Beach, right? That's where the steakhouse
It was wonderful. Maybe I was like 2 weeks ago, something like that, or 3 weeks ago. I enjoyed the time. Really, like it was worth it.
So, John, I'm not joking. The nicest hotel in Tel Aviv is the Norman.
I haven't been in that one, but I went to the 180-degree hostel.
The most expensive one.
You're going to have a better time on the rooftop at the 180-degree hostel, which is a cheap hostel, you know, right in the epicenter there. You're going to have a great time on that roof.
But maybe I spent one night, like, a week ago, like last Shabbat, in Tel Aviv for 600 shekels for a night. It was a nice room hotel, and then there is a rooftop pool, and it was only 600 shekels for a night.
Really? That's really cheap.
Yeah, it was cheap because it was last moment, you know. But a lot of arson in the rooftop. You know what is arson?
RC.
They don't know.
So try to explain to her.
They're pretty much like
Guido.
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
Guido, no?
That's a good way to describe it.
The ones that sitting in the pool and they will put the cry music of the Israeli music, like Mizrahi, but the heavy one.
Adidas tracksuit, and then we'll have a fight with.
And they will take the bottle of wine in the middle of the pool and try to let everybody drink from the bottle. So God, that's what happened to us in the last Saturday.
And they all wearing like their hair slicked back with Gucci sunglasses or Prada sunglasses.
Prada and Gucci and
gold chains, you know. All gold chains with Chais or Magen David.
To say the word in Hebrew and
witnesses, which we can just call JW, the Mormons, and the Christian Scientists. And then I realized that all of these cults can be discussed together. And the reason is because there's an entire subsection of cults which are cults that are under the guise of Christianity. They claim to be Christian themselves, but in very specific ways, and similar ways to each other, in fact, they pervert mainstream Christianity to indoctrinate people and control people and bilk people and separate people from society and embody all the characteristics of what we would think of as being destructive cults. So we talked about Scientology a couple weeks ago. These organizations are all much, much larger than Scientology by their number of adherents. And I believe of the
establish that niggas get to just say what they want about my mom, my dead mother, right? And that just is whatever. We kind of accept it. We look away, and if I retaliate to it, still.
He kicked me out right away.
What are they? Like Gruzim? What are they?
No, it's Israelis. Which Jews? We talk about Jews.
The Jews have like mustaches and they're wearing like robes and hats, pretty much. They have a long mustache.
They have shit pants.
Gruz.
Druze, they have shit pants.
G. Gruz. Georgia.
Gruz.
Oh, Gruzdinis.
Gruzinis.
No, the Gruzinis are like me. We look artsy. Whatever we do, it doesn't matter. We look artsy.
They look artsy and they all have bald heads.
Maybe if I would try to be like hippie, I will still look artsy. Because I'm Georgian.
Are you both sides Georgian?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
With
sorry.
the wedding I have, they're half Georgian.
Oh, nice. So you will see maybe Georgian music.
What are you from, Atlanta?
Tommy, did you see what I sent you? The little video from the Georgian restaurant?
Where did you send it?
What's that?
Which number?
I only have the one for you, but I'll.
It's the old one. I changed number. No, we need to catch up.
Okay.
Shlomi, I can't get Abby to endorse me for Congress and the candidate that I'm running against.
If she said no, don't try to convince me to do this.
Okay.
Do you give me permission to get your number from N9?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And then I can send you the little video. We've been going out.
Soon also the Scottish guy will reach to you.
Yeah, I'll get it. To get from
the Scottish guy.
The Scottish guy.
So I should get it from him instead?
The guy in the skirt.
He's got nice legs, by the way. Don't.
Go ahead, but yeah, the Scottish with the skirt, the gay guy will reach to you soon.
With the nice legs.
Yeah, the shaved ones.
So Ace is at 33% on the survey, so she failed at life. I chose needs a life, but see, maybe that's projection on my behalf. Who projected needs attention? Let's see. Anybody? Nobody? We only have 2 people that have taken the survey on the stage. If you haven't taken the survey, why does Ace gaslight people on Clown House? Maybe you've heard her. She's got a very annoying voice. If you go to her Instagram, it looks like her lips are going to pop. And apparently, she's an attorney.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Is no one else entertained by Clubhouse, man? This shit's entertaining as fuck, bro.
It's a roast app. People put themselves out here, and they're subjected to getting roasted.
They get roasted. Her lips do look like they're about to pop, that's for sure. Oh, my God.
How much lip filler can you fit in those lips?
Heavy.
Yeah.
Did captivity make you more aggressive? Did I intrigued you?
I can't believe she said that, but honestly, I'm not shocked that she said this either. I'm really not. Fucking idiot, man. What's up, Sammy? How you doing, bro? See you down there. Sammy's a good guy. I like Sammy. We need more people like Sammy in Judea's area.
See, if you really want to get Amir's room to... I'm getting a lot of feedback from you, Harry. I'm just saying, if you haven't recorded Amir's room yet, put it on X, tag Dan Bongino and Kash Patel at the FBI. Amir is a terrorist promoter, and then go into Amir's room and post the link to X, and you'll see Amir's head explode like a firework.
Do you think that they actually really see that on their Twitters? Do you think they actually check that or have somebody check that?
They gotta have somebody check it.
Yeah, they use it as intelligence.
I tell you why. Because when things are moving in a way that I'm involved, like the lawsuits and things that I'm doing sometimes on Twitter that are affecting, things are happening here and there. An example I will give you is when I did the interview with Irene, I think. That's when Amir played my recording. So yeah, they are following everything. Well, it's working for them, 100%.
Wait, he's working for who?
For someone that is trying to deceive this under.
Yeah, I believe that also. I truly do. Because he's on here every day, and all he talks about is Israel. That's it. That's all. There's like Jew haters on here, yeah, and Israel haters, but they're not always talking about Israel all the time. But his room is always, every time Israel. It's very, very odd. Like you said, it's like he's getting paid by somebody to do it, you know. So, but every single room, every single day is about Israel. Something about Israel or Netanyahu or whatever. Crazy shit. But, I mean, I thought the same thing about that Soren guy. He disappeared off the face of the earth. No one has seen him on here. It's been like over 6 months. It has to have been. It has to be. Almost probably a little more than that. I don't know. I haven't seen that guy in a while. So. Soren.
My shooter.
Stalker.
Oh my God,
That was crazy.
that was a crazy battle that they had, a feud. You got on his nerves. That's why you got under his skin. And when somebody comes after you like that, that means that you really trigger them. You know.
We were debating that. It wasn't more than that.
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah, like. I mean, you know, real niggas who've been watching and paying attention, they know what's up, and they've said as much so far. So I appreciate y'all who've kind of been speaking up and like speaking truth to power against the nonsense and the fake narratives. But go ahead.
All right, not trolling anybody. Scroll up in the chat. That was a 10-minute submission. 10 minutes of
Yes, this was one of my only ones. Yeah. One of my only ones. I had a lot to get off.
That was 10 minutes of mission.
Hey man, sometimes it gotta be like.
All right.
I know this punk ass nigga's not talking about Wilson. I know he's not talking about Big Long.
Next to the queue.
I know it.
All right, hold on. Next to the queue is Solomon.
After
Solomon, I heard you. Yeah, I read you. I read it in the chat. Yes, that's that. Next in the queue is Solomon. After Solomon, it's Lion. After Lion, it's Joel.
Yeah, what up, King Solomon?
Yeah, what's good? What's good, Aggie? Yeah, it's good to see you, buddy. So here's my thing.
After Lion, it's Concrete. After Concrete, it's Joel. My fault.
No, that's cool. So my thing, knowledge is, because you know, obviously when we see heated back and forth, like with Louis and Lion, the first thing we think is, okay, how can we fix this? And obviously that's what a lot of us want, myself, Concrete, and others. The problem is, and Lion, you know, we have to have the Holy Spirit, bro. And I get it, especially with what you just said, Louis. Because you know I believe in the same thing. I'm a Proverbs 26:5 individual. I don't believe in none of this pacifist faggotry that a lot of modern Christians think the Bible speaks to. There's a time and place for war, and there's a time and place for peace. But we also, if we say we believe in Christ, we have to know when it's time for the both. And if you're one who's instituting it, which line I think respectfully you just did, in a way that you didn't have to, then yes.
Okay, I'm going to restart this live stream. This is Chillism. This is a group of brain rot sufferers. They may have Down syndrome or autism or some other type of neurotypical disorder. So we're here documenting retardation in real time. Hit that like button. Share now. This is Chillism. A group of super retards who can't figure out what else to do with their time. All their time talking about nothing. Literally, this is a show about nothing. This is like the modern day social audio Seinfeld. So I hope you enjoy.